Welcome to Hope Through the Hard, a curated coalition podcast where we talk honestly about life struggles and how to face them in healthy, hope-filled ways. In 2 Corinthians 4, Paul says, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." That's the purpose of this space. Real conversations about the hard things in life and the hope that carries us through. Visit curatedcoalition.com to find our coaching services and book a free consultation.
Hi, I'm Levi. This is Ashley, and Lincoln is helping us with production today. So, kid question? Let's see.
I think he typed it in the smallest font he could find.
Yeah. Would you rather spill water on yourself in public or spill all your food on yourself in public?
Water.
Water or food?
Water.
You'd rather spill water on yourself?
Yeah. It dries.
Yeah.
The food looks gross for a while.
Depends on when you spill it, though.
What do you mean when you spill it?
When and where. You know, if you're sitting in a chair and you spill it and it goes in your lap, it looks like you peed yourself.
I'm okay with looking like I peed myself if it's going to dry fast.
And then walk around.
Yeah, it'll dry fast.
Yeah, it depends on the food. If it's super hot food, no, thank you.
And it wasn't hot water. It didn't say like boiling tea water.
Just water.
Just water.
So ice water.
I'll take it.
I'll take ice water over something hot anytime.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, well, as we enter the Christmas season, we wanted to kind of do a few episodes on celebrating the holidays with the people you love. And we have a few episodes in the coming weeks about the tension and just the miracle of the Christmas story and how the first families of the Christmas story might have felt. But today we are talking about traditions. Yep. And so we know that some families enter the holiday season with joy and some enter it with stress.
Oh, yes.
So we're trying to come at it with what if your family could build in traditions that anchor you, traditions that create connection and peace and spiritual identity and joy, and they're not dependent at all on what everyone else in your extended family is expecting of you. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah. So started off as why traditions matter. So kind of some research that was done. Traditions defined by dictionary.com, the handing down of statements, beliefs, legends, customs, and information, etc., from generation to generation, especially by word of mouth or by practice. So traditions give meaning, identity, and emotional stability to our holidays. So it's huge to kind of understand the definition of that.
Yeah. And so I am always fascinated by the research. And so I wanted to know, is there any statistical information that backs up the fact that rooting your children in tradition brings stability, which will bring peace?
Yep.
And
I bet there is.
There is. And so because as a teacher, I know that children feel safer. They feel more confident when you have clear rhythms and clear boundaries and you do the same thing at the same time. And I mean, that's literally the entire purpose of classroom management. And that was something that they always pushed really hard in pedagogy, procedures and routines, and make sure that you have them. And so, like, I know from my teaching experience that that's true, but I wanted to be able to share some research. Yes. And so Roger Williams University did a 2025 longitudinal study on preschoolers. And it said that children in the stable high routine group had significantly lower attentional, externalizing, and internalizing problems than those in the decreased routine group. So if your children have high routines, they're better adjusted.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So there is another study from Science Daily that's from 2014, and it looked at early preschool families. So this was on family routines of these preschool children, and then the connection with social emotional health. And it said children who regularly sing, play, storytell, and eat dinner with their families tend to have higher social emotional health. And so for each additional routine that a family has in that preschooler's life, every additional routine that a parent and that child do together, there is almost a 50% greater likelihood of having a high social emotional intelligence.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge. So we're just talking basic procedures and routines. You get them up the same way, you brush their teeth at the same time, they have breakfast every morning, like basic routines.
Oh, so Lincoln needs to get up at a set time every day now?
Yeah. He's shaking his head no. Okay, last one. A PubMed study studied neurodivergent children, so children with especially neurodivergent delays, and it studied routines over time. So increased frequency of family routines was associated with less child externalizing behaviors. The better the behavior, or the better the routines, the more consistent the child's behavior.
Yeah. Well, another part of traditions is that it reinforces your family values.
Yeah.
So what your values are naturally is what we need to really lean into and not just spend the extra times at the extra things that, because we get invited to parties to go to do things.
Yeah.
That's great and sometimes can be fun.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't match the same values, then we're wasting our time. And there's going to be more stress of also obligation of I have to do this, or I feel like I need to do this, or I have to drag the whole family to this. And so what are our values? Traditions give you some of those and realign those and help you see what is really supposed to be happening.
Yeah, and you naturally gravitate toward the things that you're gonna repeat.
Right.
What aligns with your family most often. So yeah, without your own traditions, I have found that you get absorbed in everyone else's expectations, which creates stress and anxiety and frustration, and often leads to resentment.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not always true, but I think for a lot of people it's true. And it definitely impacts, like the research shows, it impacts your kids.
Yeah.
So traditions are naturally nervous system regulating. So predictability reduces the holiday stress. So I know that like the fear of the unknown is often one of the most difficult things to walk into. When you don't know what's going to happen, that creates so much anxiety in people. And so that's especially true around the holidays. The fear of the unknown recedes a little bit when predictability is available. And so accommodating another side of the family, like when you're newly married or when you're seriously dating someone, accommodating another side of the family brings anxiety because we just don't know what to expect. And so I think parents of adult children would be mindful, if they could be mindful, it would do them a service to be mindful of the fact that whenever, just because you have these really great traditions, whoever your children are bringing with them, their potential future spouse, that is going to be a stressful thing for them because this isn't their tradition.
Right.
Whatever you're bringing them into is unknown to them. Yeah. And so their fear is going to be high.
Because there's so many memories with some of those traditions of growing up and I got this gift and there's a tradition that goes with that. Yeah. That can have some deep meaning with us, but
also bring anxiety unintentionally to the person that you're bringing into that tradition.
Right. Yeah.
So just being mindful of that. Parents of adult children, be mindful of that. Your traditions are super important to you and you love them, but whoever your child is bringing home might be anxious about that.
Yeah. And understand, because there's some things that we don't understand fully. How we're made up with this, the science is there, but also it goes back to really Bible times and with how God has made traditions. And we see these stories of, in the Bible in the Old Testament times, of these traditions of these meals and things that they've done. And we just look at that and go, man, that's too much work. Or maybe now with some of our traditions, we're like, now this is too much work to to put up this tree or put up
elf on a shelf.
Yeah, every day.
No.
No, thank you. But there's meaning to it. And so whenever you give some meaning to the full value of what that means, and we start pulling back into this, we start to understand why God made up traditions, why he made so many of these as well for the Jewish people to see and say, okay, this is how we're going to act. This is why. It's a reminder of here's what's going on. And so some scriptures kind of anchor some of this. There's feasts. God made a lot of feasts that tied to every step of a story of how he brought his people out of slavery and how all these different things of, especially in Leviticus chapter 23, gives you kind of each one of those steps. So the Sabbath, which we talked about, the Passover, the unleavened bread, the first fruits, weeks, trumpets, anointment, tabernacles, all these traditions established by God is to remind us of specific things. And every year we kind of walk through that flow.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the verses that I really loved was from the book of Joshua, specifically Joshua chapter 4. And it's God telling his people to set up stones of remembrance so that future generations will be able to have a testimony to what he's done. And so it says, to serve as a sign among you in the future when your children ask you, what do these stones mean? You tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are memorial to the people of Israel forever. And so I think God knows we're forgetful people. And he's like, okay, you're going to forget that I did this. You're going to forget that I worked a miracle here.
Right.
Put these stones up. And then when your children ask you, you're forced to remember.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And the same goes with Passover.
Yeah.
And that meal of remembering that over and over. God made a tradition so we would do this and remember exactly what's going on. In churches today, it's communion, and that we remember Jesus died for our sins, and we take the cracker and the juice, and we're remembering exactly those stories because, like you just said, we are forgetful.
Yeah.
So there's good things of doing traditional things, but sometimes you can also over-exaggerate and make them too much of a thing and not focus on the real thing, the specific thing of here's the Passover. Go back to the story. What really happened, and why did God make this a tradition?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the reasons that I feel really strongly about traditions now is because I didn't used to, and I didn't see their value. Right. And so it was a huge thing for us when we moved here, went far away from family, that you specifically said, it's time. Like, we are going to start our own traditions.
We tried to implement some early on, but...
Yeah. But I mean, I remember going to MOPS when we had first moved to Jefferson City. We went to MOPS, and one of the leaders was talking about the importance of establishing your own family traditions. And I thought, we don't need to do that. Like, we go to my grandparents' house, we go to my parents' house, we go to your parents' house. That's the tradition. And I know that there are a lot of young families who feel obligated to go to everyone else's traditions, to go back to their parents' house, to go to their siblings' homes, to go to grandparents. And if it doesn't stress you out, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't feel like an obligation, if it's a joy for you and your spouse, and it doesn't bring anxiety for the kids, or, if it's a joy, do it. If not, set up a boundary.
Right.
And those are flexible. When the kids are older, you can start going again, whatever. But I just remember thinking we would never have enough time to start our own traditions because the holidays were so busy going to everything else. And I was keeping my kids from enjoying holidays to the fullest by doing that. I was cutting that off. The only tradition we had was opening presents.
Yeah. Well, and that's the reason why traditions are so great, right? Because we have memories from those. And if we don't start to put into those traditions and make new effort into that, Yes, we love the idea of going to grandparents and
Yes.
hanging out and remember stories of growing up, of spending time with cousins and all the
Yes.
family. Love that types of stuff.
Me too.
And so sometimes we have to continue to find new ways of continuing that tradition as more family members come in.
Mm-hmm.
And it may look a little bit different, but there can still be more memories if some boundaries are kind of drawn, because whenever things do start getting stressful and things are
Overwhelming.
big time,
Yeah.
people start feeling guilt and shame and resentment, and
That's not the goal.
families start to break up.
Yeah.
So we need to establish those that's going to be honoring to our family and that we can build on.
Yeah.
And so we have to remember, this is who I'm married to. Here's our kids. What do we want as traditions, and what do we want to grow this into so they can have memories that they can tell their kids and grow into that stuff as well.
Right. Exactly. And it's important to remember that you're not raising holiday participants.
Right.
You're raising
But I love those gifts.
you're raising future adults, right? And so those future adults are going to go and start their own family.
Yes, they are.
And so while in some regards, it's sad for me to think about our kids not being present at our traditions that we've built. There's a part of me that makes me a little bit sad to think about that. But it also brings me great joy to imagine what are they going to start doing with their spouse? Like, what is Lincoln, who's sitting behind the camera today, like, what is his future wife going to start with their children?
Right.
Like, just imagine the possibilities. It's going to be something fabulous. Just because it's not what I've established doesn't mean it's not going to have value for them.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think it's important to remember that if we can maintain those healthy relationships with our children, there's a really good chance that whatever Lincoln and his future wife and their future children, whatever they establish, maybe they'll invite us to it.
Right.
Maybe they'll let us be included in their new traditions
That's the
instead
hope.
of forcing them to
Be at ours.
come back to ours. Like, you have to come back. Instead of doing that, what if we're able to join what they built?
Right. Yeah, and that's the ultimate goal, right? So some of the things that we have created, right? So we've created these over years of life together and Christmas and activities where we could enjoy some activities together and just built traditions off of it. We tried something, everybody liked it, and we kept doing it.
Yeah.
Made it into a tradition.
Yeah.
And didn't know it sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times.
It just happened, and then we'll do this from now on. And so, like Adeline,
I asked all of the kids.
Yeah.
I asked them all. I'm like, tell me your favorite thing that we do every year.
Yeah.
Adeline.
and so Adeline's is Christmas lights. So after we go to a Christmas Eve service, we drive around the neighborhoods and look at Christmas lights, which is cool because it was just like, hey, we're home.
What do we do?
Or Christmas Eve, what do we do?
Yeah,
And
because you always had to work Christmas Eve
always
service.
had to work Christmas Eve service.
Yeah.
So then it became plan it out, but this wasn't something that was planned. It was just like, okay, let's just go drive around.
Yeah, yeah. So mine is, since we moved to Savannah, we started our own because I don't want to cook on Christmas. Like, that is the last thing that I want to do on Christmas Day is cook. I have no desire. So we started making a charcuterie board. And now it is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Adeline is particularly good at arranging them and making the colors flow so that they all they really look beautiful.
Yeah.
She makes the meat into these arrangements of flowers, and it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. So with that, charcuterie board, you say you don't want to cook.
Yeah, I don't want to cook. It's just as much work.
But you're doing more work for the charcuterie board than you do for cooking.
But it's so much fun.
But it's
Everybody
fun.
works together.
That's why.
That's why.
That's why it's such a great thing.
Yeah, because even the boys will jump in and they'll put some nuts on for us, and they'll pull out the Nutella stuff, and put it out. And it's fun because we're always saying, get out. No, you can't have any yet. We're putting, it's just
Got to have the picture.
fun. Yeah. And it's a beautiful picture. One of my other favorite things, of course, is cinnamon rolls while we're opening presents. And I love watching Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite things about Christmas time is the Hallmark Channel.
Yes. We watch them all.
No, we haven't this year.
Not yet.
Because we were still watching Gilmore Girls, so we haven't watched them all.
Yes.
But when I asked Chicken, he said his was opening presents in his Christmas PJs. And I didn't know that he thought that was a tradition.
Traditions.
The Christmas PJs, like
Right.
we bought matching Christmas PJs one time.
And now it's our tradition.
And now he's like, we have to have the PJs. Okay, crud, I guess. So I told you that today, and you were like, so we have to order pajamas?
Yep.
Like, I think we have to order pajamas.
Yeah. Lincoln's smiling now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. He's going to get his picture taken in pajamas.
But he's wearing those pajama pants like 3 times a week.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm not,
Because it's cold outside
not
and they're
feeling
flannel.
sorry for him.
So Lincoln's, when I asked him, his was food, and more food, because that's what 15-year-old boys like, apparently. He said the charcuterie board and cinnamon rolls. But he also said, this one I thought was really funny. He said, asking Dad repeatedly if we can open any presents early, and Dad saying, no.
Yep.
So I thought that was really fun. And then he said his other favorite one is waking up before us and coming in to pester specifically you about getting up early to open presents.
Get up. Well, turn the coffee pot on, and you're set, man. Not hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I think I learned real early on. The first church we were working at, and we had to work the Christmas Eve service in Oklahoma, and we weren't traveling after that was done. So we stayed there, went home, was just going to grab something to eat, go back home, have our time together. And then the next morning we were going to leave and go to family and travel.
Right.
And didn't realize small towns, everything closes. So Christmas Eve service started and we starved. I think we were digging out crackers and there wasn't much. We just moved.
We had just moved.
Yeah.
We literally starved Christmas
Yeah.
Eve because by the time Christmas Eve service was over, everything was closed. Even the McDonald's, which I was not excited about the prospect of eating McDonald's anyway. But even that was closed.
Everything was closed.
It was all closed.
And so that's where sometimes we have to have tradition.
Yeah.
I have to start preparing because I'm
Yes.
going to starve. And I think that's cool of how the PJs or Christmas light just driving around becomes tradition because it just happens. We just try something different and everybody likes it and it's not stressful. And if you don't do something, it can be really stressful.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important that we see what the family likes to do and enjoy. Some other ideas of some things. Sometimes we've done these. Sometimes they're good. An Advent readings together with the family of reading the Christmas story from the Bible and or reading from a book or having family devotions. We tried some of those.
Yeah. So another really good tradition that you could just try it and see if it works for you, is a special meal that you do every year. You really like smoked brisket at Thanksgiving. It was something that my grandpa did when I was a freshman in high school for me. And when he passed away, you said, I think let's just I'll smoke the brisket.
Yeah.
Pop is gone. But I'll do this because I love it and you love it. It's important. Obviously, our charcuterie board and cinnamon rolls is another Christmas tradition. I think another really good thing is just having a specific rhythm for Christmas Eve and Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Adeline loves Christmas Eve service. I don't. I don't love Christmas Eve service, but it was such a part of her childhood that she loves that. And so
I think she loved the dressing it up.
Yeah.
full dress up.
Yeah,
in the
like
dress
super
and
fancy.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we do Christmas Eve service, Christmas lights, and then on Christmas morning, doing cinnamon rolls while we open our presents, and we will be getting PJs because that is now important.
Yep.
So those are a couple of Christmas, just doing the same thing each year on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning.
Yeah. Something else that we've tried is Operation Christmas Child shoebox. Fill those. Some great ways of being charitable and giving to others as well.
Yeah.
Maybe if your family is very crafty and like the arts, do some ornaments, decorating, one for every year. Do a scrapbook and just kind of put that out and just do something together as a family.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a quiet family nighttime ritual. And this is just something that you can build in, one of those traditions that makes your children feel safe. Having the same nighttime ritual. And start that now. Start that with that Advent calendar and then continue it on throughout the year. I mean, our kids still say nighttime prayers with you because that's important. That's what we've always done. Doing a Thanksgiving gratitude liturgy, you know, making sure that you just everyone has the opportunity to say what they're thankful for.
Right.
And I love that because Lincoln is the one who started that this year for us. He's like, what is everybody thankful for? And so I love it when the kids are the ones that are excited to carry the tradition.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Other times of celebration traditions and stuff as well as birthdays, right?
Yeah.
So we try to make it to where your birthday, you get a meal of your choice. And so the kids get to pick out what their favorite meal is, and we fix that. But then make sure it's a time of special time. I know, especially when you got little kids, it's like, oh, you have a big party, and it's like, and you do all the things for it. Maybe you love that. Great.
Yeah.
But also sometimes it's great to have just a small family together.
Yeah.
Small, cake of making it special in that way too.
Yeah.
Different ideas, whatever it might be that draws your attention, whatever your family values, and look at those celebrations as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you, what was one holiday tradition growing up that you specifically loved that shaped you?
I think it was going to my grandma's, especially because my mom had a lot of siblings, and so there was a lot of cousins, and we would get to go out to the school that was behind my grandma's into the field and play games, play football and everything else. Remember playing snow and playing football in the snow, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
spend time with family.
Yeah, and so mine was going to my grandparents too, and so we're not saying forego. We're not saying forego all of the extended family things. Yep. Those are the things that we remember the best, and we have the best memories with. And so we're not saying forego that altogether. Just make sure that you start something for your own family.
Yep.
So what is one tradition that you hope our kids remember?
That they remember?
Yeah, or that they think fondly about.
Well, Lincoln, food. That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
No, I think I think what will be possibly memorable is just the time that we spend as a family, and make it a valued time and not just screen time and looking at playing video games and everything else and watching TV and being in your corner. But we try to make it even whenever food's done, we're still playing games or we're doing something together and talking.
Yeah. Yeah. So let us know in the comments, what is a tradition that you remember doing that you really loved? Maybe one that you're trying to carry on with your own children.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's good ideas to share. So one thing that I think is also really important is that it's important for you to ask God what traditions He wants your family to build. Don't just inherit the pressure from extended family. Do this purposefully. And so that's our encouragement for you today. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. We encourage you, share them with your friends.
Yep.
Share them with family or extended family or friends who you know they need to establish traditions and they need hope and encouragement to do that, because that's what we want for you to do, is to just start one new thing this year.
One new thing. Comment down below. Let us know what that is, because we really do want to know what those traditions are and what you're trying out.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for today's conversation. My hope is that you leave here reminded that whatever you're facing, you're not crushed, abandoned, or destroyed. That's the promise of 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 and the heartbeat of hope through the hard. Visit curatedcoalition.com for all of our coaching services or to book your free consultation. We'll see you next time.